The palace walls are shaking tonight, and Meghan Markle is absolutely devastated. Sources close to the royal family have just dropped the most explosive bombshell of the year, and trust me, you're going to want to sit down for this one. The Duchess of Sussex has been secretly blocked from attending the upcoming Invictus Games, and the way it all went down is nothing short of brutal. Word on the street suggests that Meghan had been planning her triumphant return to the veteran games for months. She'd already started coordinating her outfits, mapping out her media appearances, and reportedly even pitched Netflix on exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage of her emotional reunion with wounded warriors. This was supposed to be her moment to shine again, to remind the world that she could still command attention on the international stage. But palace insiders whisper that the royal family had completely different plans brewing behind closed doors. King Charles, Prince William, and Catherine allegedly held secret discussions about the Sussex situation, and the verdict was unanimous. Meghan Markle would not be welcome at Invictus, and they were prepared to make that crystal clear. The timing of this revelation is absolutely staggering. Just weeks after Harry's controversial Canada trip, where he allegedly failed to inform Buckingham Palace of his plans, sources claim the royal family decided enough was enough. They'd watched Meghan and Harry play their games for years, scheduling competing events, releasing conflicting statements, and essentially trying to overshadow every significant royal moment. According to reports surfacing from royal circles, the final decision came during a tense conference call between senior palace officials. The conversation reportedly lasted over an hour, with each member of the working royal family expressing their concerns about Meghan's potential presence at the games. The consensus was clear, sources suggest. Her Hollywood antics and constant camera crews had turned what should be a sacred space for wounded veterans into a circus sideshow. But here's where it gets truly shocking. Rumor has it that Meghan had already started reaching out to veteran organizations, trying to secure private meetings and photo opportunities. She'd been working behind the scenes for weeks, apparently believing that her royal title and past Invictus appearances would guarantee her welcome back into the fold. The reality check came like a sledgehammer to the face. Palace sources allegedly made it crystal clear through back channels that Meghan Markle's presence would not be welcomed, tolerated, or accommodated in any capacity. No red carpet, no photo calls, no tearful embraces with veterans, and definitely no Netflix cameras capturing her every move. Industry insiders claim that when the news reached Montecito, Meghan's reaction was nothing short of explosive. She'd been banking on this appearance to rehabilitate her public image and prove that she still had relevance in the royal sphere. The rejection reportedly left her questioning everything about her post-royal strategy. But that was just the beginning of this royal nightmare. What happened next behind the closed doors of the Montecito mansion is absolutely heartbreaking, and sources close to the situation reveal that Meghan's desperation reached levels nobody could have predicted. The former actress reportedly went into complete panic mode when she realized the palace wasn't bluffing about blocking her Invictus return. According to palace insiders, Meghan immediately launched into damage control, frantically reaching out to anyone with royal connections who might help reverse the decision. Sources suggest she spent hours on the phone, practically begging former courtiers and even distant royal relatives to intervene on her behalf. The conversations were reportedly emotional, with Meghan allegedly breaking down in tears multiple times as she pleaded her case. Word from Hollywood circles suggests that Meghan even considered flying to London unannounced to personally confront the royal family. Her team allegedly had to talk her down from what they described as a potentially disastrous move that could have made the situation infinitely worse. The thought of Meghan showing up at Buckingham Palace uninvited, demanding an audience about Invictus, had her advisors in absolute panic. But here's where the story takes an even more dramatic turn. Sources claim that Meghan reached out directly to several high-profile veterans who had supported her in the past, hoping they would publicly advocate for her inclusion. These conversations reportedly didn't go as planned, with many veterans expressing concerns about the media circus that seemed to follow her everywhere. Industry insiders whisper that Meghan even attempted to leverage her Netflix connections, suggesting that her streaming platform could provide valuable coverage and financial support for the games. This move allegedly backfired spectacularly when Invictus organizers made it clear they weren't interested in turning their sacred event into a Hollywood production centered around one controversial figure. The breaking point reportedly came when Meghan discovered that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was being invited to attend certain Invictus events in an official capacity. Sources suggest this news sent Meghan into an emotional tailspin, as she realized the royal family wasn't just blocking her, they were actively replacing her with someone they actually trusted and respected. Behind closed doors in Montecito, the situation allegedly became explosive. Staff members report hearing raised voices and emotional outbursts as Meghan grappled with the reality that her royal connections couldn't save her from this humiliation. The woman who once believed she could reinvent the monarchy was now being completely shut out from one of its most meaningful charitable endeavors. Reports suggest that Meghan's team scrambled to find alternative veteran events where she could make appearances, hoping to create competing headlines during Invictus Week. But even these backup plans were reportedly meeting resistance, as veteran organizations seemed hesitant to associate with the controversy that constantly surrounded the Sussex brand. The most crushing blow allegedly came when sources confirmed that Harry himself had been warned about bringing Meghan to the games. The palace reportedly made it clear that while Harry remained welcome as a founder, his wife's presence would create unnecessary drama and distraction. But the royal family's strategy was just getting started, and what they did next would leave Meghan completely speechless. The tension inside the Sussex household has reportedly reached breaking point, and sources close to the couple reveal that Harry is caught in an absolutely impossible situation that's tearing his marriage apart from the inside. The Duke of Sussex allegedly finds himself trapped between his wife's desperate demands and his family's unwavering ultimatum, creating a pressure cooker that insiders say is ready to explode. Palace sources whisper that Harry received a direct phone call from his father, King Charles, laying out the terms in no uncertain language. The conversation reportedly lasted over 30 minutes, with the king making it crystal clear that Meghan's presence at Invictus would be considered a direct act of defiance against the crown. Harry allegedly tried to negotiate, suggesting private appearances or behind-the-scenes involvement, but every proposal was shut down immediately. According to reports from Montecito, Meghan's reaction to this news was nothing short of devastating. Sources suggest she couldn't understand how Harry could allow his family to humiliate her so publicly, especially regarding an event that she'd helped promote during their royal days. The arguments between the couple reportedly became so intense that staff members were asked to leave the property during heated discussions. Industry insiders claim that Meghan has been pushing Harry to take a stand, demanding that he boycott Invictus entirely if she can't attend. She allegedly told him that if he goes without her, it proves that he's still under his family's control and doesn't truly support their united front against royal oppression. The emotional manipulation reportedly left Harry torn between his loyalty to the games he founded and his marriage. But here's where the situation becomes even more explosive. Sources suggest that Harry secretly reached out to Prince William, attempting to find some middle ground that might satisfy both sides. The brothers allegedly had their longest conversation in years, but William reportedly remained firm in supporting the palace's decision to exclude Meghan from veteran events. Behind the scenes in Montecito, the pressure is reportedly taking a serious toll on Harry's mental health. Sources close to the situation reveal that he's been struggling with the realization that his wife's controversial reputation has made her radioactive in the very circles where he once felt most comfortable and valued. The veteran community that embraced him as a wounded warrior has allegedly started questioning his judgment. Word from royal circles suggests that Harry's been given one final chance to attend Invictus without creating drama, but it comes with strict conditions. No Meghan, no Netflix cameras, no competing announcements, and absolutely no attempts to overshadow the veterans with Sussex family theatrics. Palace insiders allegedly made it clear that this was his last opportunity to maintain any connection with the charitable work that once defined his royal identity. The most heartbreaking aspect, according to sources, is that Harry genuinely wants to honor the wounded warriors who inspired Invictus, but Meghan reportedly sees his attendance without her as the ultimate betrayal, setting up a choice that could determine not just his relationship with the royal family, but the future of his marriage. What happened when the royal family revealed their coordinated strategy would shock everyone. What the royal family did next was absolutely brilliant in its calculation, and sources reveal that this coordinated freeze-out of Meghan Markle has been months in the making. Palace insiders whisper that King Charles, Prince William, and Catherine had been secretly planning the most sophisticated isolation campaign the monarchy has ever deployed, and Meghan walked straight into their trap. According to reports from royal circles, the strategy began taking shape immediately after Harry and Meghan's explosive Oprah interview. Senior royals allegedly held a series of private meetings where they mapped out exactly how to neutralize the Sussex threat without appearing vindictive or petty to the public. The Invictus block was reportedly just the latest move in a carefully orchestrated chess game. Sources suggest that Prince William has been the mastermind behind this operation, coordinating with veteran organizations and charitable foundations to ensure that Meghan's reputation preceded her wherever she tried to insert herself. Industry insiders claim that William's team has been quietly sharing concerns about the media circus that follows the Sussexes, making it clear that their presence often overshadows the actual charitable work. But here's where the strategy becomes truly devastating. Palace sources reveal that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has been positioned as Meghan's direct replacement in veteran outreach programs. While Meghan was being systematically excluded, Catherine was reportedly being invited to high-profile military events, building genuine relationships with wounded warriors and their families without any of the Hollywood drama. The coordination allegedly extends far beyond just veteran events. Royal insiders whisper that the working royals have been sharing information about upcoming charitable galas, sports events, and international visits to ensure that Sussex appearances don't conflict with or overshadow legitimate royal engagements. The goal reportedly is to make Meghan and Harry's attempts at royal cosplay look increasingly desperate and irrelevant. According to sources close to the situation, King Charles has been particularly strategic in his approach. Rather than publicly denouncing his daughter-in-law, he's allegedly been working behind the scenes to ensure that doors simply don't open for her anymore. Commonwealth nations have reportedly been briefed about maintaining appropriate protocols when the Sussexes attempt unofficial visits. The most crushing aspect of this freeze-out strategy is how it's been implemented without any public announcements or official statements. Sources suggest that the royal family learned from past mistakes and decided that ignoring the Sussexes completely was far more effective than engaging in public battles that only gave them more attention and sympathy. Industry insiders claim that Meghan has finally started to realize the extent of her isolation when even her celebrity friends began distancing themselves from royal-adjacent events. The Hollywood elite reportedly don't want to risk their own relationships with the legitimate royal family by appearing too closely aligned with the controversial Sussexes. Palace sources whisper that this coordinated strategy has been so effective that veteran organizations are now proactively reaching out to working royals instead of waiting for Sussex interference. The royal family allegedly no longer needs to actively block Meghan because the institutions themselves have learned to bypass her entirely. But the real damage was already done at Invictus itself, and what veterans were saying behind closed doors would devastate Meghan completely. The truth about what's really happening inside Invictus circles is absolutely devastating for Meghan, and sources reveal that her past behavior at the games created irreversible damage that no amount of royal connections could repair. Veterans and organizers have allegedly been harboring serious grievances against the Duchess of Sussex for years, and they're finally speaking out about why she's no longer welcome. According to insiders close to Invictus leadership, the problems began during Meghan's very first appearance at the Games in Toronto back in 2017. Sources suggest that what the public saw as a romantic royal debut was actually a carefully orchestrated media circus that left many veterans feeling exploited and overshadowed. The focus reportedly shifted from celebrating wounded warriors to analyzing Meghan's every outfit change and public display of affection with Harry. But here's where it gets truly shocking. Veteran sources whisper that Meghan's team allegedly demanded special accommodations that took resources away from the athletes themselves. Reports suggest she required private changing areas, exclusive dining arrangements, and extended security details that disrupted the game's carefully planned logistics. What should have been about honoring service members became about managing one-woman celebrity requirements. Industry insiders claim that the breaking point came during subsequent Invictus events when Meghan allegedly insisted on bringing camera crews for her personal documentary projects. Veterans reportedly felt like they were being used as props in Meghan's image rehabilitation campaign rather than being genuinely supported in their athletic achievements. The sacred space that Harry had created for healing was reportedly becoming a Hollywood soundstage. Sources close to wounded warriors reveal that many competitors privately complained about feeling pressured to participate in photo opportunities with Meghan when they'd rather focus on their events. The games were supposedly about veteran empowerment, but athletes allegedly felt like they couldn't say no to royal requests without appearing ungrateful or unpatriotic. According to reports from Invictus organizers, the final straw came when Meghan's representatives allegedly tried to negotiate merchandising deals and corporate partnerships that would benefit her personal brand while claiming to support veteran causes. Sources suggest that proposals were made for Sussex-branded Invictus content that would have commercialized the games in ways that made longtime supporters deeply uncomfortable. Word from veteran advocacy groups indicates that Meghan's approach to military families was seen as performative and inauthentic. Sources claim that while she excelled at delivering emotional speeches for cameras, she allegedly showed little interest in the behind-the-scenes work of actually supporting wounded warriors and their families through recovery and rehabilitation programs. The most damaging revelation reportedly comes from veteran spouses who felt that Meghan's presence turned their partner's athletic achievements into background noise for royal relationship drama. Sources suggest that families who had sacrificed everything for their service members' recovery were frustrated to see Invictus coverage dominated by speculation about Meghan's fashion choices and marriage dynamics. Invictus officials allegedly made it clear to palace representatives that while they deeply respected Harry's founding vision and continued commitment to veteran welfare, Meghan's involvement had become counterproductive to their mission. The games were meant to inspire and heal, not to provide content for streaming platforms and celebrity magazines. But when the truth about Harry's Canada deception finally emerged, it sealed Meghan's fate forever. The scandal surrounding Harry's deceptive Canada trip has finally exploded into the open, and sources reveal that this web of lies became the final nail in the coffin for any hope of Meghan's Invictus return. What palace investigators discovered about the Sussex team's dishonesty reportedly shocked even seasoned royal courtiers who thought they'd seen every manipulation tactic in the book. According to palace insiders, the investigation into Harry's unauthorized Commonwealth visit uncovered a pattern of deliberate deception that went far deeper than anyone initially suspected. Sources suggest that when Buckingham Palace demanded documentation about who approved the trip and when, the Sussex team allegedly provided conflicting stories that kept changing every time they were challenged for specifics. But here's where the lies completely fell apart. Canadian officials reportedly had no record of any formal communication from Harry's team about the visit, despite Sussex representatives claiming they'd followed proper protocols for Commonwealth engagements. Sources whisper that when palace investigators contacted the appropriate Canadian departments, they discovered that Harry's people allegedly never reached out through official channels at all. Industry insiders claim that the most damaging revelation came when phone records were examined. Reports suggest that while Harry's team claimed they'd given the palace advance notice out of courtesy, telecommunications data allegedly showed no evidence of any such communications during the timeframe they specified. The Sussex camp had apparently fabricated the entire story about proper notification. According to sources close to the investigation, the lies extended to the veteran organizations Harry claimed to be supporting in Canada. When palace officials reached out to verify the charitable partnerships, several groups reportedly expressed confusion about Harry's role and admitted they hadn't been properly briefed about royal protocol requirements for his appearance. Word from royal circles suggests that Prince William was personally devastated by the extent of his brother's dishonesty. The future king allegedly realized that Harry was not just being manipulated by Meghan's poor judgment, but had become an active participant in deceiving the very institution that gave his life meaning and purpose. But the most explosive revelation reportedly came when investigators discovered that Meghan had been directly involved in crafting the false narrative about palace notification. Sources claim that text messages and emails showed her encouraging Harry to lie about following proper procedures, essentially coaching him on how to deceive his own family while maintaining plausible deniability. Palace insiders whisper that this discovery fundamentally changed how senior royals viewed the Sussex situation. What they'd previously attributed to poor judgment and celebrity influence was now revealed as calculated deception designed to embarrass the monarchy while claiming victimhood when consequences followed. According to reports from Buckingham Palace, the Canada Lies investigation produced a comprehensive report that was shared with King Charles, Prince William, and other senior royals. The document allegedly detailed every false claim, every fabricated timeline, and every attempt to manipulate royal protocol for personal gain. Sources suggest that when this report reached decision-makers about Meghan's Invictus participation, the verdict became inevitable. A woman who would coach her husband to lie to his dying grandfather's institution could never again be trusted at events representing crown values and military honor. What veterans themselves were saying about Meghan would prove even more devastating. The most heartbreaking betrayal for Meghan has come from the veteran community itself, and sources reveal that wounded warriors who once embraced her are now actively campaigning against her return to Invictus. What these brave service members are saying behind closed doors would absolutely crush anyone with a conscience, and it exposes just how badly Meghan miscalculated her relationship with military families. According to veteran advocacy groups, the breaking point came when several high-profile wounded warriors privately contacted Invictus organizers to express their concerns about Meghan's potential attendance. Sources suggest these conversations weren't driven by tabloid gossip or royal politics, but by genuine frustration from service members who felt exploited during previous encounters with the Duchess of Sussex. Industry insiders claim that a group of veteran spouses wrote a confidential letter to Invictus leadership detailing their experiences with Meghan during past games. The letter reportedly described how their partner's emotional stories were allegedly used as content for Meghan's personal brand building, rather than being honored as examples of military courage and resilience. But here's where it gets truly devastating. Sources close to wounded warrior organizations reveal that many veterans have been sharing their experiences privately, describing how Meghan's team allegedly approached them about participating in documentary projects and media appearances that would benefit her image rehabilitation efforts. Service members reportedly felt pressured to become props in her publicity campaigns. Word from military families suggests that the final straw was Meghan's absence during recent veteran memorial events, while simultaneously appearing at Hollywood parties and celebrity gatherings. Sources claim that wounded warriors noticed the stark contrast between her tearful Invictus speeches about supporting service members and her actual priorities when cameras weren't rolling. According to reports from veteran support networks, many service members have expressed frustration that Meghan's controversial reputation now overshadows their athletic achievements whenever she's present. Athletes reportedly want their Invictus participation to be about overcoming adversity and inspiring others, not about providing background content for royal family drama. The most powerful voices reportedly come from veteran amputees and PTSD survivors who initially supported Meghan's involvement, but have since become disillusioned with her approach. Sources suggest these warriors feel that her focus on personal grievances and celebrity lifestyle contradicts the values of service and sacrifice that Invictus represents. Behind the scenes, veteran organizations allegedly compiled testimonials from service members who requested that future Invictus events focus on athletic achievement rather than celebrity appearances. Reports suggest that these statements specifically mentioned concerns about Meghan's presence turning solemn moments of remembrance into media spectacles. Industry insiders claim that even international veteran delegations have privately expressed relief about Meghan's exclusion from upcoming games. Sources whisper that military families from various Commonwealth nations had been dreading another round of Sussex drama overshadowing their athletes' inspirational stories. The most crushing blow reportedly came when several Invictus medal winners publicly supported the decision to prioritize veteran focus over celebrity attendance. These wounded warriors allegedly made it clear that while they respected Harry's founding vision, they believed Meghan's involvement had become counterproductive to their healing mission. But when Netflix entered the picture, the situation became absolutely explosive. The streaming giant's involvement in Meghan's Invictus plans created an absolute nightmare that reportedly sent veteran organizations running for cover. And sources reveal that Netflix's demands for exclusive content access became the final straw that sealed her fate forever. What the entertainment industry wanted from wounded warriors was so exploitative that even Hollywood insiders were allegedly shocked by the audacity. According to industry sources, Netflix executives had been secretly developing a documentary series concept that would follow Meghan's emotional return to Invictus, positioning her as a misunderstood royal fighting to support forgotten veterans despite family persecution. The streaming platform allegedly saw massive commercial potential in combining royal drama with military heroism, creating what they hoped would be their next breakout documentary sensation. But here's where the plan became absolutely disgusting. Sources suggest that Netflix representatives approached Invictus organizers with proposals for exclusive behind-the-scenes access that would have turned the sacred veteran games into a reality television production. The streaming giant allegedly wanted to film private therapy sessions, intimate family moments, and emotional athlete breakdowns for dramatic content. Industry insiders claim that Netflix's demands included exclusive rights to interview wounded warriors about their injuries, recovery processes, and personal trauma specifically for Meghan's documentary project. Veterans reportedly would have been contractually obligated to participate in emotional scenes designed to showcase Meghan's compassionate support, while cameras captured their most vulnerable moments. According to sources close to Invictus leadership, the breaking point came when Netflix allegedly suggested scripted scenarios where Meghan could be filmed consoling crying veterans or mediating family conflicts for maximum emotional impact. The streaming platform reportedly wanted to manufacture touching moments that could be edited into compelling television regardless of their authenticity. Word from veteran advocacy groups indicates that military families were absolutely horrified when they learned about Netflix's proposed invasion of their sacred healing space. Sources suggest that wounded warriors felt betrayed by the idea that their recovery journeys would become entertainment content designed to rehabilitate a controversial celebrity's public image. But the most explosive revelation reportedly came when Netflix executives allegedly proposed paying veteran participants to sign exclusivity agreements that would prevent them from discussing their Invictus experiences with other media outlets. Sources claim the streaming giant wanted to own these service members' stories permanently, turning their sacrificial service into corporate intellectual property. According to reports from entertainment industry insiders, even Netflix's own documentary teams expressed concerns about the ethical implications of exploiting wounded veterans for royal family content. Sources suggest that several production staff members privately questioned whether the project crossed moral boundaries that could damage both veteran welfare and the platform's reputation. Palace sources whisper that when King Charles learned about Netflix's detailed plans for commercializing Invictus through Meghan's involvement, his reaction was swift and decisive. The monarch allegedly made it crystal clear that no member of the royal family would participate in any event that allowed streaming platforms to exploit British military service members for entertainment profit. Industry insiders claim that Invictus organizers immediately banned all Netflix personnel from future games, making Meghan's attendance impossible since her participation had allegedly become contingent on securing streaming content for her lucrative entertainment contracts. The impact on Meghan's marriage was about to become absolutely devastating. The explosive fights between Harry and Meghan over her Invictus exclusion have reportedly pushed their marriage to the absolute breaking point, and sources close to the couple reveal that the screaming matches in Montecito have become so intense that staff members are actively looking for new employment. What's happening behind closed doors would shock even the most cynical royal watchers. According to insiders, the arguments began immediately after Meghan learned she'd been blocked from the games, with her allegedly demanding that Harry choose between supporting her or betraying their marriage. Sources suggest these weren't typical marital disagreements, but full-blown emotional warfare, with Meghan reportedly using every manipulation tactic in her arsenal to force Harry into an impossible position. Industry sources claim that Meghan has been systematically dismantling Harry's connection to his military identity, allegedly telling him that his veteran work only matters if she's included as an equal partner. Reports suggest she's been questioning whether his Invictus involvement is actually about helping wounded warriors or just feeding his ego and maintaining relevance with his estranged family. But here's where it gets truly heartbreaking. Sources close to the situation reveal that Harry has been caught between his genuine love for veteran causes and his wife's increasingly desperate demands for validation. Palace insiders whisper that he's been secretly communicating with Invictus organizers, trying to find some compromise that might satisfy both sides without completely destroying his marriage. According to reports from Montecito, the fights have escalated to the point where Meghan allegedly threatened to leave California if Harry attends Invictus without her. Sources suggest she views his potential participation as the ultimate act of betrayal, proving that he values his family's approval more than their united front against royal persecution. Word from royal circles indicates that Harry has been reaching out to old friends and former military colleagues, desperately seeking advice about how to handle the impossible situation. Sources claim these conversations have been emotional, with Harry allegedly breaking down as he realizes that his wife's demands might force him to abandon the veteran community that once gave his life purpose. Industry insiders suggest that Meghan has been using their children as leverage in these arguments, allegedly telling Harry that attending Invictus without her would send a message to Archie and Lilibet that daddy doesn't support mommy when she's being attacked by mean people. The emotional manipulation reportedly has left Harry questioning everything about his identity and priorities. But the most devastating revelation comes from sources who claim that Harry secretly recorded some of these arguments on his phone, allegedly as evidence of the psychological pressure he's experiencing. Reports suggest these recordings capture Meghan's raw fury about being excluded and her demands that Harry prove his loyalty by rejecting his military connections entirely. According to Palace insiders, the stress of this situation has reportedly triggered Harry's anxiety and depression in ways that concerned even his California-based therapy team. Sources whisper that he's been struggling with the realization that supporting his wife might require abandoning the wounded warriors who inspired his greatest charitable achievements. What the royal family decided to do next would end any hope of reconciliation forever. The royal family's final decision about Meghan and Harry's future has reportedly been made, and sources reveal that this Invictus block represents far more than just one excluded event. Palace insiders whisper that King Charles, Prince William, and Catherine have reached a unanimous verdict that will fundamentally reshape the monarchy's relationship with the Sussexes forever, and there's absolutely no going back from what they've decided. According to royal sources, senior family members held a decisive meeting where they reviewed every Sussex controversy from the past 5 years, creating what insiders describe as a comprehensive case file that paints a devastating picture of calculated manipulation and institutional betrayal. The Invictus exclusion was reportedly just the opening move in a much larger strategy to completely sever ties with Montecito. Industry insiders claim that Prince William has been given full authority to handle all future Sussex-related decisions, effectively making him the gatekeeper for any potential reconciliation attempts. Sources suggest that the future king has made it crystal clear that Meghan will never again be welcome at any royal or Commonwealth event, regardless of the circumstances or public pressure. But here's where the verdict becomes truly final. Palace sources reveal that King Charles has allegedly signed off on a permanent protocol change that removes any ambiguity about Harry and Meghan's status. The new guidelines reportedly treat them as complete outsiders with no special consideration for family relationships, meaning they'll be handled exactly like any other celebrity seeking royal access. According to reports from Buckingham Palace, the decision extends far beyond just blocking Meghan from events. Sources suggest that the royal family has committed to a policy of complete non-engagement, meaning no responses to Sussex statements, no acknowledgement of their charitable work, and absolutely no public reactions to their media appearances or business ventures. Word from royal circles indicates that this decision was specifically designed to deny Harry and Meghan the one thing they desperately need for relevance, which is ongoing royal family drama. Industry insiders claim that by refusing to engage with Sussex provocations, the working royals have effectively starved them of the conflict-based content that drives their media attention and streaming deals. The most crushing aspect of this final verdict reportedly involves Harry's military honors and patronages. Sources suggest that while nothing has been publicly announced, discussions are underway about whether his remaining ceremonial roles are compatible with his wife's ongoing attacks on the institution he's supposed to represent. According to Palace insiders, the royal family has also allegedly coordinated with Commonwealth nations to ensure consistent messaging about Sussex status during any future unofficial visits. The goal reportedly is to eliminate any possibility of Harry and Meghan creating competing royal narratives or alternative power centers. But perhaps the most devastating element of this final verdict is its permanence. Sources close to the situation reveal that senior royals have made peace with the possibility that Harry might never return to the family fold, accepting that Meghan's influence has fundamentally changed him in ways that make reconciliation impossible. The Invictus block wasn't just about one event, it was about ending the Sussex royal story forever, and judging by the silence from Montecito, Meghan finally understands that her royal relevance has died completely. Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned because the next video is waiting, and you won't believe what's coming next.